everyone. So today is another video of reaction to UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomena, and hope you guys enjoy. Let's start.
Moving in ways nothing on Earth should.
That's what I say.
Orbs appearing out of nowhere.
This is a rare, real UFO video. Thank you for sharing.
And sightings that have no explanation. Watch more and decide for yourself. Over a small town somewhere in the United States, a dark winged craft was cutting through the night sky with the speed and aggression of a fighter jet, but the shape of something nobody has an official name for. Black, broad and angular with an asymmetrical wing-like body that does not match any publicly acknowledged aircraft in service. And it carried two small lights on its frame, dim and reddish, the only thing giving away its position against that dark gray sky. The movement was sharp and fast, military in its confidence, but the silhouette was something else entirely. Too irregular, too unusual for anything on a known roster. Army Black Project or something that does not belong to any government at all. That is the question this footage leaves wide open. What do you think was flying over that town?
By the way, comment down below what your thoughts are on this object. It kind of looks like it's man-made to me personally because of the blinking lights. First of all, obviously you've seen many aircrafts usually have blinking lights, and from this clip from this UFO, it actually has blinking lights, which is obviously similar to the aircrafts that we have built, that humans have built. So this might be one of the few rare cases whereby this is an actual aircraft that can pass for an UFO.
Virginia saw it fall. Somewhere over the small towns of rural Virginia, a saucer-shaped craft was seen descending from the sky, completely lit in fire. Not a meteor, not a plane going down, a saucer, trailing fire and dropping toward the earth in a way that had everyone who saw it convinced something was about to hit the ground hard. And it did come down, right toward the town. People saw it descend, watched it drop, and went to find where it landed. But when they got to the site, there was nothing. No wreckage, no burn marks, no debris, no evidence that anything had ever come down there at all. A craft on fire descended over Virginia in front of witnesses, and then vanished from the crash site completely, like it was never there. What do you think happened to it?
The fire isn't even consuming the whole craft. It's like the fire is on one small section of that UFO. And it's also smoking.
Low flying saucer. A woman in Madrid was driving to drop a friend off at home when the two of them suddenly came across a large flying object that had come down onto the road directly in their path. The clip, dated July 17, 2025, captures a hovering craft that is only partially visible thanks to the red lights glowing along its underside. Taking into account every unusual element on display, the only reasonable description anyone could settle on was a hovering UFO. Unsure of what it intended to do or what might happen next, she chose to pull over and wait until it moved on.
It's very still. It's not even moving an inch.
Silent triangle above. Right in the middle of an outdoor community event, something no one expected unfolded overhead. While people were focused on the activity below, an enormous craft materialized in the sky. It was triangular in shape, glowing along every edge, and large enough to blot out a portion of the sky entirely. Not a single sound came from it, just a silent, motionless presence hanging in the air. Some in the crowd believed it had to be a UFO, while others suspected it was some kind of advanced military aircraft. But before anyone could process what they were seeing, it accelerated away at a speed that defied all logic. With sightings like this becoming more frequent around the world, the questions
It looks like it's high up in the sky also.
surrounding these unknown beings only continue to multiply. UFO ground escape. In a remote village, a massive airborne object was witnessed lifting off from the ground, slowly climbing
where do you guys think this video, like this clip, was taken from? Like which country? Comment down below in the comment section.
Into the air before vanishing into the distance. It was no drone, and it certainly was no airplane. A number of people believe it was a UFO that may have run into some kind of mechanical issue, forcing it to touch down for emergency repairs. Rapid liftoff had all the signs of a last-second.
And by the way, could you see some jets of hot air, or like this hot stuff? Pardon me, but still, could you see this stream of hot air coming from the aircraft?
Escape before anyone could get
Maybe it's a propulsion system. Who knows?
too close. But in spite of the urgency, it did not go unnoticed. Everyone present saw exactly what happened, making it clear that whatever this was, it had no plans to stick around. Cab driver's close call. A cab driver spotted something radiating light in the sky. Not a shooting star, but a smooth, round craft gliding over the city. It had striking bright lights, and for a brief moment, he genuinely could not believe what he was looking at. He had only
And by the way, the sky is kind of clear on this clip here. I barely see any clouds, not even a single cloud I can see.
ever seen anything like it in films, but what he was watching now looked completely real. The object kept on its path, heading steadily toward the mountains. Then little by little, it faded away and disappeared. But a smooth, round craft.
But could you see the shape of this UFO? It's kind of matches the typical shape of UFOs, especially a UFO that I once saw from Toy Story, if you guys know it.
Gliding over the city. It had striking bright lights, and for a brief moment he genuinely could not believe what he was looking at. He had only ever seen anything like it in films, but what he was watching now looked completely real. The object kept on its path, heading steadily toward the mountains. Then little by little, it faded away and disappeared into the sky. It was not a plane, and it was not a drone. If this was truly a
Okay, sorry for laughing, but yeah, the way I say Toy Story is kind of funny.
UFO, then it may very well rank among the most undeniable sightings ever caught on camera. Cliffside Mystery. Ethiopia has always carried the weight of a deep and ancient past, but one particular event made it stand out even further. A group of historians exploring the towering rocky cliffs came across something they were completely unprepared for, a flying object weaving smoothly between the massive stone formations. At first, none of them were entirely sure what they were looking at. It slipped behind one cliff only to re-emerge on the other side moments later. The movement was fluid and deliberate, nothing remotely like a bird or a remotely piloted drone. Then it became impossible to ignore. This was not normal. It was a UFO. If one was navigating through those...
By the way, guys, people who say that this is a drone, a piloted drone, a remotely piloted drone, they just don't make sense, to be honest, because there's no way a remotely piloted drone could be so huge, first of all, and second of all, there's no way it also can just move so quietly without making any sound. It doesn't make sense. But those
cliffs,
explanations are
how many
still
more might be concealed within them? Perhaps those ancient rock faces held far greater secrets than any history book ever suggested. Siberian Speed Run. Russia drew global attention in 2023 following a jaw-dropping sighting over its frozen mountain ranges. A disc-shaped object was observed tearing through the air at extraordinary speed, slicing through the icy atmosphere with unmatched precision. It began low to the ground, almost as if it were conducting a sweep of the terrain below. Then, without any warning, it launched straight upward and vanished into the sky. Tourists who witnessed the event were left with no doubt. This was no aircraft any of them had ever seen before. Some felt it had been observing them before making its exit. Others were convinced it simply did not want to be seen, and that it likely returned to the area once the coast was clear. Ocean took it in. A man out cruising the waters off the coast of San Diego, California, was not expecting his afternoon on the ocean to turn into something he would spend weeks trying to explain. A geometrical-shaped craft, unlike anything with a familiar name, appeared above the water and just hovered there for a moment, still and silent above the Pacific, like it was making a decision. And then
Is he on a boat? Or is on land, on a beach?
it made one. Slowly and deliberately, it began descending toward the surface of the ocean. No splash, no chaos, no dramatic entry. It just slipped beneath the water like the ocean opened up and accepted it, clean and gone. Something geometrical and unidentified hovered over San Diego waters and then disappeared beneath them without a trace. What was it doing?
It kind of also glows blue, or has this blue color to it when when it enters the ocean. Strange. Obviously, it's strange, but
Doing down there? Mountain's hidden door.
UFO.
And this one is an old case too. 20 plus years ago.
Shocking at UFO.
But it's very clear too, because actually, despite despite it being taken back in 1993, it's comparable in terms of quality to modern day UFO clips.
A piece of old footage from 1993, originally shot in Innsbruck, Austria, suddenly resurfaced and went viral. It was no ordinary clip. It showed a saucer-shaped object cutting through the sky. The craft gave off a strange yellowish glow, not entirely unlike the color of the sun. It was traveling low near a mountain, and just as it appeared...
And by the way, how come it glows and there's no sunlight? So I think that means that it's emitting its own light. It's glowing, the craft itself.
It might be on a collision course. The footage ended. Some viewers claimed to have encountered...
Anyways, take care everyone. Bye.